Yo, 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 what is going on YouTube? It is your boy Cole, and guess what? We are back predicting a major tournament. I am excited for this one, man. I I feel like I've predicted a major tournament in a very long time. Although because the prediction videos and the CDO Pick'em website wasn't up for major one. But as you can see by the updated record down below, we went 7-3 last week, and I will say I'm kind of pissed because apparently I didn't save my predictions. So they on the website itself, it didn't. It said I didn't predict at all. But obviously I made a video predicting it, and I remember my predictions. I went 7-3 in predictions, so I updated the record. We're 19-11 in predictions, not too shabby. I, yeah, I remember the three I got wrong, so it is what it is, man. But we are back for a major tournament, like I said. Super excited for this one. Should be a fun one to watch. These winners round one matchups are gauntlets, and I will say, I did predict Thieves to make winners bracket. You know what I'm saying? That did happen. Either way, like I said, winners round one, gauntlet matches. Teams and losers are Florida, London, Vegas, Seattle Surge. Yeah, let's get right into the predictions, man. Winners round one, Optic versus Thieves. This is gonna be a absolute banger of a series. All these 8 teams in winners bracket right now are very good. I would argue to say that in Major Two, these definitely are the top 8 teams that definitely deserve to be in winners bracket. You can maybe argue like a Vegas, but for the most part, I agree with the top 8 teams. Um, Either way, getting into the predictions. Um, Optic obviously 4-1 split. Should have went undefeated. Sorry, came out flat versus a Vegas team that looked really good in their series. But either way, went 4-1. Not too shabby of a record. I think that's a lot better than anyone expected them to do, with how hard their schedule was for Major Two. Um, LA Thieves went 2-3. Probably should have went 3-2 if you can argue they should have beat probably an LAG team, but either way, not too shabby. They made winners bracket. They clutched up, won the series they needed to, in a reverse sweep, by the way. That was tippable. Um, but yeah, this series I'm going to say Optic 3-1. And I think just for that reason, I think LA Thieves may take like a control or maybe the opening hard point. But I don't see the LA Thieves team has been like super inconsistent in how they look so far at the beginning of the year. They were just like last year. You know, they started off slow. Maybe they're just a slow learning team. You never know. But they just sparked me the same way. Don't get me wrong, have the talent to beat anyone at any given time if they are on form. But as of right now, they kind of look a little their inconsistencies are showing. So I think Optic are just the better overall team as of right now. Um yeah, Optic 3-1 over LA Thieves. I don't think LA Thieves has a chance to even win a search in my opinion. Optic look good in search. Um, you could argue like Vegas and Florida are the two top S&D teams in the league, and Optic took when they came out flat against Vegas, they lost all the respawns and won the search though. So I think Optic wins the search, and I'll if Optic comes out winning map one, it could be a 3-0. But I like I said, I think LA Thieves could win a control, give some momentum, but that's about it. Next matchup. New York versus Minnesota. Now, I feel like this one has the potential to be the most upset potential out of all the winners brackets, because some people were talking about, like some people were saying that this might be like everyone's a favorite in winners bracket, if that makes sense, or you would think like Optic, New York, Toronto, FaZe win their matchups, right? I think this series has the potential to be close, and this one has the potential to be closer than a lot of people might think. Um, New York still look in form. Don't get me wrong. New York's New York right now. They look absolutely tippable in the respawns, man. The thing that scares me is Minnesota actually started heating up a lot early game because Minnesota has the last couple years been the team to look like they start off slow in series, and so um in the major two split, it looked like they were starting to get on the trend of actually you know coming out firing a lot more than they used to known in the past. So I think this is a lot stronger of a Minnesota Rocker team than I would say before the major. I think if it was before major two split, I would give New York hands down edge. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. Like I said, this has I think this is gonna be an absolute banger of a series more than people think. Um, I almost kind of want to go with an upset here, which is crazy. But obviously Minnesota history, if history, you know what I'm saying, repeats itself like it usually does. Minnesota, they've always been pretty clutch in game 5 scenarios, and that's how they're going to be if they're going to beat this New York team, that's how they're going to have to beat them in game 5. So, I think I'm going to go the upset here. I'm going to go 3-2 Minnesota. And that is crazy to me, but I'm just gonna go out on a whim here. I'm gonna say Minnesota upsets. They take both the searches, and I think I think they steal the. I think they probably Neslo him here. To be honest with you, it depends on what control they play too. Like if the veto process goes in Minnesota's favor. Like I like Minnesota on LSELO control. I don't think you play New York on hotel. So I think you either play Fortress or Asilo, and I like those two maps out of Minnesota. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with the Minnesota upset here. It's crazy. Don't get me wrong. New York's New York, man. I said it. They're still top dog in the league, man. But like I said, Minnesota. I think they're on the upward trend. I think we're seeing a better Minnesota team, and I'm gonna predict the upset here. It's a major. Anything can happen, man. You know. Next series, Toronto Ultra versus LEG. Now this one, obviously we saw it in Major 2 online split. Um, Joe Deceives versus Scrappy is a very entertaining series to watch, man. Those two apparently have some beef. They were talking shit to each other. It was comedy, man. Um, Obviously Toronto Ultra got the edge over them, which I kind of expect. It's Toronto Ultra. I think they're the second best team in the game right now, if not, top 3. So this team's just complete all around, like I said in other prediction videos. Like, dude, it's Toronto Ultra, man. Like, they look absolutely gross in all game modes, and I'm gonna think that carries over here. I'm gonna go 3-1, 3-1 Toronto. I think, and love my boy Alec, but I just, I just have more faith in a Toronto Ultra team right now. They look more complete. So yeah, next series, Boston Breach versus Atlanta FaZe. Now here's why I think this series could get spicy, is because I think Boston's the better hardpoint team right now. Well, obviously Atlanta FaZe is Atlanta FaZe, and their searches actually look good. Control looks good. Hardpoint looks kind of here and there sometimes, but they have the potential to take. This series has just potential. To be a grinder series. And I'm gonna go Atlanta FaZe 3-2, and here's why. Um, I think Boston, like I said, I still think they're one of the best hardpoint teams in the game. I think the hardpoints go 50-50 split. Um, Potentially, Um, the hardpoints could go either way. But I don't know. I just have some weird feeling it's gonna go game 5, and Boston has been known to not. Dude, they're like, I think, what is it in game 5? Like 0-5, 0-6, something like that. They have a crazy round like game 5 stat where they just don't win game 5s. They just don't win them. And I think it was against LA Thieves actually. They took the 5-2 lead game 5 too. Like, bro, I just have no faith in this Boston team to ice up in any way, shape, or form if it gets to a grimy series, which it's Atlanta FaZe. So you would think the series itself is gonna be like close and grimy regardless because you're simply just playing Atlanta FaZe. So yeah, I have more faith in FaZe to ice up than Boston. The Boston is just not an icy team right now. No matter how good they look in scrims and hard points and the respawns, blah blah blah. I just have no faith, man. Sorry, Boston, but it is what it is. All right, now we get into the losers round 1 matchups. These are the Friday matchups, day 2 of the major. Now, LA Thieves versus Florida. This one could actually be interesting, in my opinion. Um, Florida, obviously, Florida's always been that team that just like if you let them take a respawn, man, good luck because Florida's always been nasty at search, at least in their history, right? And they're nasty at search now. So if you're LA Thieves here, you best believe you don't give them a respawn, man. Don't do it. Because if you're giving them a respawn, that's obviously game five written all over it. You would expect Florida to win a search, the second one, and then you would if they take a respawn, man, you would expect Florida to win the last one as well, right? They're just a dark horse, 2-3-5 team. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just the Neslo team that if they take a respawn, man, good luck. But I don't think that happens here. I think, like I said, Florida wins the search. Thieves, please don't let me down a respawn. I beg you, please don't let me down a respawn. Um, yeah. So, LA Thieves 3-1 over the Florida Mutineers. All right. This series is interesting. New York, London. Love London. Love that my boy Asim is absolutely cooking this year, getting the respect he deserves finally as a player. But I mean, they looked okay, you know. Asim obviously super consistent player this year. He's been absolutely cooking the competition on this team. Someone needs to help this guy, man. Um, I just don't. I don't know. Like as much as I want to see the London boy, like I'm a huge like I have respect for the London boys. You know what I'm saying? Like it sucks to see them get a T12, but someone has to, right? You're going up against New York. I think this is a fast series, man. It is what it is. Now this is oh man, wow, LAG versus Vegas Legion, man. Now this is spicy, man, because LAG were on like a 9-8-0 hardpoint run in the league when they first got their new team, right? They were looking absolutely fantastic in hardpoint. Um, they've obviously had a couple losses now here and there, which is bound to happen. You're bound to lose one eventually, right? Um, but I still think they're still strong in hardpoint. Obviously you can't knock like a what 9-2 or 10-2 record, whatever they have, man. I don't know the actual logistics, but it's somewhere around that legion, or region. Sorry, uh, it's somewhere around there, man. They're still looking. That's still a phenomenal record in hardpoint. You got to tip that. Vegas, obviously, good search and destroy team. Um, I'm gonna go the Neslo here. I think Vegas, Vegas on land, I think improves a lot. Obviously I was at Raleigh in person for Major One, and let me tell you, man, the crowd was behind Vegas super hard. Any team plays on, man, that crowd's gonna be phenomenal for them, So Clay was getting dummy hype on lane. That shit was lit to watch. I think, like I said, I think Vegas thrives more on that energy than an LAG team. I have LAG actually taking the two hard points and then Vegas nuzzling. So yeah, I think Vegas edge it out here, but I could see a world where LAG 3-1 where Vegas take the search and LAG just steamroll the respawns. But I'm gonna predict the, I guess, quote unquote upset here. I think any team can win this series, man. Now this one, wow. I feel like these are two teams that are struggling to ice up right now. Um, because like the thing with Seattle that you could always count on them, right? They suck at search right now. I will say that they are horrible at search. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They are probably the worst search and destroy team in the league right now, dude. And it is bad. It's bad. But obviously, if Seattle Surge play at their peak, they're dominant in respawns, right? But so are Boston, you know. So man, I think Seattle actually finishes what they've been playing like lately. I think they deserve the 12th through 9th placing. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 3-1 Boston here, just because I think in terms of this matchup specifically, as of right now, Boston, in my opinion, just looked like the better team. Even though I said earlier in the previous matchup, right, they didn't look icy. They can't ice up, but you don't need to ice up in a 3-0, 3-1. You know what I'm saying? It's just it is what it is. And hot take, I think Seattle Surge, if they finish with this placing that I predict, they probably make a roster change. But we'll see. Let's get into. Let's get into. Wait, so they're playing this on Friday? Oh well. Either way, let's get into the winners round two matchups. We'll just go in order as this. Scroll this over a little bit. Do that. Okay. Optic versus Minnesota. Now, I did say Minnesota. And this is gonna be weird because obviously I'm in my Optic gear, predicting these matches and stuff like that. But I've never been one to be biased in my predictions, man. Never. I'm always realistic, man. Always. So, I mean, this is just me being realistic. I think in toe-to-toe matchup versus Minnesota specifically, I think Optic have the edge in pretty much every game mode. Um, I'm gonna go. Uh, I'm gonna go Optic 3-1 here. Yeah. Do I want to go 3-0? Oh man, I'll go 3-0. Screw it. I I think the problem, dude. I don't think this tournament's gonna have a lot of 3-0s though, in my opinion. But I think I mean obviously Minnesota's coming off a hot New York win. Um, obviously Optics coming off a win as well. Like I said, just in terms of the way I think of this series, the way the vetoes go, I think Optics just more talented and more complete in all the game modes. Like I said, they're good at search, which is also Minnesota's, bread and butter when it comes to previous rosters and just their history of like, icing up in game fives and stuff like that. They've always won 2-5. They've always been a good 2-5 team at least. But like I said, Minnesota has been coming out more hot lately, which has me. That's why I said 3-1. But I don't know. I just have a feeling Optic's gonna ride this momentum, man. They're on a hot streak right now. Next matchup. This one's hard. This one's going to be a banger though, but it's hard. Atlanta FaZe versus Toronto Ultra. Wow. All I could say is what a series. First of all, I'm super hyped to watch this tournament. By the way, like, wow. But either way, uh, Toronto Ultra, like I say time and time again, man, they're just complete. Like they look like a team comfortable with each other, playing with each other. Atlanta FaZe still has their shakiness about them, at least in my opinion. Um, but at the end of the day, it's Atlanta FaZe. I'm just I'm going 3-2 Ultra. Going 3-2 Ultra. I think that's a good prediction for this series. Like I said, both these teams are gonna I probably go absolutely blow for blow with each other. But I think Toronto Ultra is the better team right now, and I'm just gonna simply give the edge off of that, just off what I've saw. So yeah, um, going to losers round two. Wow, New York versus LA Thieves. LA Thieves, like I said, just looks like they're slow off the start of games. It's still early in the game. I think they, obviously LA Thieves always has the talent to win an event. I mean, they showed it last year. They won back to back. Last major of Vanguard, they won champs. Like this team has the potential to put it together, but I don't think they do in this series. I actually have them finishing top 8 in this event. I'm gonna go 3-1 New York. Yeah. Not much I could say there. I think New York's just, obviously still top dogs, man. Still top dogs. Um, Vegas versus Boston Breach. Now, did we see this one I'm pretty sure we saw this one online, and I think Boston won 3-1, but I don't think it was like. I think it was a close series. I think Boston obviously. I think. I think if I remember right, the first hard point was super close. Like, I could be tripping, but I think the first hard point was super close when we saw these two fight online. And then Vegas won the search, and then Boston kind of steamrolled the next two respawns. I could be wrong though, but I know Boston won 3-1. I'm gonna go with the Vegas Legion upset here. Maybe I don't know. I just feel like this Vegas team all land gets better, and like I said, I think this Boston team just needs to figure out how to clutch up in the game 5 scenarios. And any series I have Boston going game 5, I just have no faith, like literally none. And I think Vegas, just off the online series, like the fact that Hardpoint 1 was close, obviously, but Boston pulled the edge out there. I think this team has the potential to steal a respawn off of Boston. That's all Vegas has to do. Still one respawn. It's just like Florida. They still won one respawn. You're scared of this team. And I know it's crazy too, because in the Optic series that they played against Vegas versus Optic online before last week, Vegas actually won all the respawns and Optic won the search. It was like backwards, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm just gonna go with the Vegas upset here. I'm gonna go 3-2 Vegas. I think Boston finish out top 8 in their home series, which is crazy. Obviously these home series or these home events, these crowds behind their cities actually get super hyped for the home teams, which makes me happy because yeah. But I'm just a COD fan. I love me some Call of Duty, man. But yeah, um, I'm gonna go with the Vegas upset here, like I said. So instead of going to winners finals, we're just gonna go elimination round 4 or elimination round 3, and then we'll predict winners finals. Um, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Atlanta FaZe versus New York, banger series, absolutely banging series. Um, this is crazy, bro. Because the loser of this technically what finishes top 6, 5th, 6. So this is for top 4. Ah man. Oh, it's so hard to predict FaZe finishing 6, bro, because they just don't ever do that. like, bro, FaZe finished third last event, even though they didn't look like the greatest team either. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously New York was still the Major One champions. They're still looking in Major One form too. Dude, I'm gonna go with the upset here, man. Screw it. It's major time, baby. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. I have New York finishing 5th, 6th this major. That's crazy, but they still look good, man. New York. If you lose to Atlanta FaZe here, I'd still hold your heads up high, man. You're still looking gross. But I'm literally simply, this prediction is just out of the whim. I think this just is gonna be an upset. Nothing like logistic about it. No statistics. I'm not gonna talk about the series. Just gonna go with my gut feeling that it's gonna be an upset. Simple as that. Moving on. Um, Now this is where things get interesting. I actually think this is where Vegas's lead or Vegas's run ends. I think Minnesota Rocker takes this series 3-1. Um, this could be like 3-0, 3-1 Rocker in my opinion. I think this is just where Vegas run out of gas. I think fifth, sixth is still a good placement for Legion. That's where they finished last event. They still need to work on a few things, obviously. God dang, why isn't it scrolling out? Yeah, they still need to work on a few things, obviously. Clay's shown some serious frustration online, obviously, when they lose, but it's Clay. He's always gonna do that. So yeah, um, I just feel like they're gonna run out of gas. Vegas or Minnesota Rocker 3-1, getting a top four, securing top four anyway. Um, we're gonna go up to winners finals now. Optic versus Toronto. Now, obviously, Optic upset Toronto. That would technically be the upset, right? In online, but at Major One, obviously, when they still had Seth, they lost to Toronto at the Major. I think it was in group play, but yeah. I think it's gonna be a banger series. Obviously, Toronto Ultra's gonna want their revenge on Optic, and Optic look on their high horse right now, obviously. So I think it's gonna be a banger series. I'm actually going to give the edge to Toronto here. I'm gonna go three. I'm gonna go 3-2 Toronto. Yeah, but I think this series can go either way, man. This is a 50-50 series for me, but I'm gonna go with the faith that I have in Toronto that they're actually like they're serious competition, man. I have Toronto Ultra in the grand finals, man. Gonna be a good series though. Um, let's see here. Atlanta FaZe versus Minnesota Rocker. Now, the last time this matchup happened online, Minnesota 3-0 smoke showed them. It was not a close series. And I forgot to say this in this series too. Online that Atlanta FaZe actually did take it 3-2. So, yeah. Either way. Um Atlanta FaZe versus Minnesota Rocker, these guys for some reason these two orgs, no matter the roster they have, always seem to battle it out. It's always a banger. Um yeah, I have nothing else to say but that. I'm gonna go. This one's actually harder than it looks. I'm gonna go 3-1 Minnesota or FaZe though. I'm gonna go 3-1 FaZe. I think FaZe secure another top three finish at a major. No shocker there, Atlanta FaZe. Yeah, I think they make it to. I think they secure their top three spot, and I think if you're Minnesota Rocker looking at a fourth place finish after the split, I don't think that's too horrible at all, man. Um, Now this one, Optic versus FaZe. Obviously, we saw this in the last match before this major. Um, Optic ended up reverse sweeping. FaZe looked dominant in the first two maps. The first two embassies were not close, and then Optic clutched up into control and took that momentum from there. Reverse sweeped them, and yeah, it was a banger of a series though. That series was fire. Everyone was hype. Um, I'm gonna go 3-2 Optic again. I'm gonna hope that Optic carries that momentum. That obviously they still know they could beat FaZe, man. I'm gonna have Optic versus Ultra in the grand finals. Now this is the interesting part. Obviously, this is a rematch of winners finals. Optic coming from losers. Toronto from winners. Match is just a best of 7 now instead of a best of 9 from last year. Um, Toronto is gonna have veto advantage. But I think this goes down to the wire though. Still, this I mean obviously this has banger series written all over it. But I think Toronto Ultra are actually gonna be your major two champions. Optic getting second though after all the stuff they happened is a big W. Big W. Um, I'll take that second place high in the chain. Obviously you want to win, and obviously as Optic as an Optic fan, I want them to win. But I think this Toronto Ultra team look gross, man. I'm gonna go 4. I'm gonna go 4-2 in this series. Um, so it's like not too dominant, but looks good on Toronto's Ultra side. But yeah, Toronto Ultra are my major two champions in my predictions. I think Scrappy wins his first event as a rookie. Like I said, this team just looks complete in every mode. They look like an actual team. Um, yeah, Toronto Ultra, major two champions. Uh, so that's gonna be it for my pick'ems. I will actually save this time. Save. I cannot make changes. It's fine. Submit predictions. There we go. They are locked. Don't troll me, website. Don't troll me. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. But yeah, there's my predictions for Major 2. As usual, let me know your thoughts on Major 2 in the comments below. I will link the Pick'ems website like I usually do. And hashtag ad real quick. This stuff is absolutely banging. Absolutely banging. I promise you. You won't regret getting Poggers. Use code ICOLDXN at checkout. Link will also be in the description. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching the video. I will be back with more gameplays and stuff like that soon, and more predictions obviously following this video. Catch you guys later. Peace.